Welcome back, guys, to Trails of Cold Steel 3, where last episode we began our sweep of Heimdall under the gloom and uncertainty of the Emperor's critical condition. Starting through the racecourse and Vainquilla Street, we then witnessed the public's demand for war at Dreikel's Plaza, before heading over to the closing Bracer Guild in Vesta Street, with coordination taking place between the Bracers and a faction of the military. Finally, we reached the Leica district, where we picked up a book marching into dystopia, the Manifesto of Gideon, warning of a future that has come to pass, with our next destination to be Sankt Cathedral and our meeting at last. So I say, what's going on in here? What's going on, Mother? Where are all the students? I sent everyone out to gather information. I didn't plan to ask for their help, but they insisted. Looks like you've been through plenty yourselves. Yeah, I figured this was the best course of action. Lady Ollier, do you have any information on the situation? Yes, but only up to a certain extent. General Van Dyke is forming an army at Grelia Fortress to the east. The 3rd Armored Division, led by Zex, received orders this morning and is currently on the move. However, I don't know what the 7th Armored Division, which includes Mueller, is doing right now. So they really are getting into position to face the Republic. What? We must prepare for the worst. We need to figure out what needs to be done, and then, as Vanders, go do what we must. Kurt, everyone, I pray you have good fortune. Yes, Mother. Please be careful as well. I will carry out the duties of a Vander here. Now get going. I pray you have good fortune. So they are very much forming the army right here, right now. They're not really that waiting. Wow, you're one old cat. Thanks for the heads up, though. Don't push yourself too much. What are you talking about? You said, take caution, young ones. I've got a bad feeling about this. Meow. Prime. He knows what's going on. The animals feel it, right? Incoming calamity. Sheesh, it's getting serious. I bought a harmonica, but I can't even get myself to practice it. Well, I know a song you can play. I'm worried about the Emperor. I don't know if I'll be able to retain my sanity if he passes away. What hubris has led us to allow our nemesis Calvard to roam freely for so long? Okay. Calvard cannot be forgiven for their actions. That being said, this would be our first all-out war with Calvard in decades. It's a bit unnerving. I just hope the Emperor makes a swift recovery. Late, Lord Company. Annabelle's there. With the Great Master and Master William currently out of the country, we haven't been able to get a hold of either of them. The late little family excels at survival, so they should be fine, but considering the situation, I'm still a little worried. Master's travelling all over to work on collaborations. I hope Master William and the Great Master are doing well. Everyone! I heard about what's going on. Things are getting rather serious, aren't they? Have you two been gathering information too? That's right. We're trying to help everyone figure out a plan. From the sound of it, they're going to start holding public meetings in the city, both to pray for the Emperor's recovery and to incite anger against Calvard. I hear the army has started taking donations for war, and people are being encouraged to donate as much as they can and compete with each other. That's just so wrong. People are hurt and confused now, and they're trying to take advantage of that? Things are moving so fast right now. We'll be relying on the info you guys gather. Of course, I'll see what I can find in the city. These people made it through the Civil War. I'm sure they have the strength to make it through this. Just be careful. War all the time in this place. I had quite a bit of fun during the fishing tournament they had it for the summer festival. I don't want that to be the last time I'm able to fish here. But I know that if anyone is able to find a path to peace, it'll be all of you. Please stay safe. My father's trying to get a grasp on the situation, so he's been running around asking everyone who might have a clue. But it's at times like these that they need to calm down. Cast out your line and wait. Too much movement will spook the fish. So I advise you to stay collected too, Rean. I'll let you know if I catch any information. He's a good friend. Alright, we nearly finished up the Leica district. Dorothy! Oh, there's an event here. It's all so sudden. I wonder when we'll be able to reopen. Oh, sorry, we're closed today and... It's Class VII. Is it okay for you guys to be in the city now? They made a special exception for us. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what's going on here? It seems a bit hectic in here. Sorry for the mess. You see, the museum's being closed indefinitely. Why is that? Due to martial law, no doubt. The government decided that given the condition His Majesty is in, government-funded institutions like ours would be closed down for the time being. We were notified this morning. Also, they're confiscating a few of our items. A crew came in to take that bell away just this morning. Is that okay? I suppose they didn't give you much choice. Yeah, something feels off about this. Anyway, sorry to bother you when you're so busy. No, don't worry about it. We're just cleaning the place up right now. Bye-bye, institutions of education. Oh, but why are you here? Did something happen? It's just, I thought I heard some sounds coming from the basement earlier. Dorothy, cut it out! I need to go down there later. Sorry. It's not the Dark Dragon, but I do sense something strange down there. It might be a good idea to investigate in that case. Oh, more monsters again? God, I shut it down for that reason. Phew, I'm feeling down about this, but that doesn't matter. It was Ash who shot the Emperor, but I feel like something is wrong here. You all seem to be headed somewhere, so please be careful. Of course, thank you. You be careful too, Dorothy. The crew came in this morning to take the bell away. They looked a lot tougher than the usual guys. Yes, just take away the crazy stuff. It's fine. But anyway, we need to get ready to close up today. Yeah. They took the good stuff. They took the good stuff. Alright, I don't think I've saved in a while, so let's just drop one. I mean, it's a potential weapon of war, right? Can be used. Everything's a weapon if you apply it in the right way. Yep, there's a monster down here. Help me out there, Kurt. Maybe I don't want to fight a black hole monster. What? It's with your... What? Just a giant mouth of a black hole more. Great. Right, let's do the thing that I was going to do. That I never remember to do. You get in the back row. We'll spread you out a bit more, guys. There we go. Much better. You got the flanks. You got the flanks, friends. I never do these tactics. Hi. What's your name?
There. Looks like a toughie. Stay on your toes.
Ugh, it looks lovely.
Watch out! This is a tough one!
Of course you're going first. Frozen space?
Unforgivable!
Well, I resisted whatever happened, and now Laura's very mad.
It's my turn!
Right, let's break this guy.
Break through! Sledgehammer!
Nothing's tough once it's been broken horrifically, right? False Abaddon.
Roar!
Laura's on a crit.
Helix strike! Now!
An opening! It's my turn!
I don't see us having any problems breaking this, friend, so that's cool. And he might die faster than I'd expect. What kind of spells are you weak to? Not really. Oh, okay. You are weak to the higher elements, and they are all in play. I might switch in Emma now, then. To get the scan.
You got this!
I'll
before
handle the
Laura
rest.
does the nuke.
Analyzing enemy unit.
My scan just got swallowed.
Analysis
A
complete.
fiend born from a space-time distortion. A Diabolus gem as a reward. Everything it consumes is pulled into it. Into its alternate dimension. Double into. You don't want to be pulled double into.
My turn!
Is it? Do you want to use Lion's Rush then? That's pretty good.
Right!
I'm going.
I think we're okay.
Let's go! Raging fire formation!
We
It's
have
my
enough for
turn.
Lightspeed Flash whenever we want. Alright, 7th Caliber does boosted damage as well.
Huh? I'm going.
And the delay on that isn't horrible.
If you could,
Leave it to me!
If I could leave it to you, I shall. defense down.
An opening!
Only means Laura's going to hit even harder from now on. Muse gets out the crazy spells.
It's
Good
my
crit.
turn.
I mean, it's pretty much down, so all we have to do is link juggle again.
Let's go.
An opening!
Let's go!
I thought Muse would get the final blow there.
Ah!
And that'll be job done.
This is the blade of the 8 leaves.
No enemy stand on my half. Why do they keep chomping Rean at the start? They get to go first, but they chomp Rean. What's with that? Stop doing that. Bad people. Diabolos, gem. Heimdall Catacombs Monster is defeated. Completed. 6,000 mirror for the branch campus. I guess I gotta go back and report that now. Diabolos. Diabolos. ATS 40. Time to cut starts is cut by 50%. Oh. Wait, that's the gem I wanted to make, wasn't it? Now I've just got it. Sure. Like, her cast time is already, like, 0. It's even more 0 now. We just use Divine Song, and Muse will just nuke till the end of blooming time. With the EP cut that she's also got on now as well. She can get quite a lot of spells off. Yeah, we're just adding more recovery, less recovery time on her already 0 recovery time under Divine Song. It's kind of silly. I'm feeling down about this, but that doesn't matter. It was Asher's. Oh, you're saying the same thing? I killed the monster for you, by the way. Right, well, next place is Sankt District finally. We've done our sweep of everything but the people there. But of course, let's just go back to camp. Train card 1. Bing.
Continue to train hard.
I'm always continuing to train hard. Is there more quests? I mean, we've been everywhere. This is where I should, like, see. There must be tons of achievements popping anyway for things that I've done, like the S ranking, etc.
The Heimdall Cathedral.
It feels oddly quiet around here.
Let's go inside after we've finished any other business we have.
Alright, well, Galvanian Embassy, St. Estrella Girls' School. I went to go pray with Mama, but I took too much time and I was late. But that's okay, right? Adios might hear it better this way. Kids. I heard the Emperor's still in critical condition. We pray for his recovery. I hope Adios hears us. How could our beloved summer festival have turned into something like this? Oh dear. How could something like this happen? You should hurry home, otherwise the military police might question you. Lovely. I feel uneasy in the house, but I don't find being outside particularly fun either. Maybe I should stay home today. I was going to say let's fly first. Is that the Imperial Defense Force? They weren't even really patrolling until yesterday. What should we do, Rean? We can't get any closer. We'll just have to wait. We can't get any closer to them. We'll just have to wait. For when? I guess after we go up there, then. So after we go to Sankt District, will more things happen? Will there be another sweep? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? The door is locked. Of course it is. Looks like the embassy is completely closed. Well, they basically declared war on them after all. We have to accept that diplomatic relations have been severed completely. I wonder if the other officials still here will be deported as well. Oh, and that clerk. They've really done it. That means the government is serious. And that means we have to be ready for anything. There's nothing left for us here. We need to go forth and find our way. Right. Yes, those two guys can't stop Rean from seeing Elise if Rean really wants to. Sure, but... What else is going on here? Hey, sit now, today, girls. Everything will be okay. I can feel it. After all, I'm always super lucky. Well, you have been on a lucky streak recently, but still. Oh, come on. You guys worry too much. We need to stay optimistic at times like these. You do, otherwise life will really get you down. Optimistic realism, I guess. We came along with President Elise as her escorts. I hope everything goes well. So Elise isn't here? I begged to come along because we were so worried. I hope Princess Alfin's doing alright. Are they in here then? Probably. There's 3 people up there. Dear valued guests, we request that you refrain from going out as much as possible. We are in the middle of a difficult situation, but this is a matter of national import. We'll have to work together to make it through. I don't know about that. There are some students from the girls' school here. Sept-Terrion is a boarding school, so the girls must feel uneasy. I wonder if there's anything we can do to help them. Someone in the corner here. I guess this is how the summer festival's gonna end. The person I met at the racecourse was in a real hurry. I'm really grateful to him for getting me this room, but what should I do now? Oh, you've been ditched, have you? Shame. I thought you guys were getting along quite well. Is he still mulling over his song? Does he know what's going on? Something seems strange out for him. This morning people were going out to pray at the cathedral, but no one's outside anymore. I wonder what happened. Maybe that's been arranged. I get inspiration for new songs at the worst possible times. Oh, he's got it! How unscrupulous. But I'd better write it down while I can. This grim song is full of despair. I never thought I'd write a song like this, but this grim, despairful song, it begs to be written. Is it the one that's playing right now? These are the questions. Alright. Okay, Elise. Sorry for asking you to do this. I'd do anything for Rean's sister. Depending on what Elisa does, we may be family soon. Sheesh. Okay, he's on it again. Grandfather! Rean! Oh, you're here. Welcome. This is quite a spectacle. Rean, Muse, everyone. Thank goodness you're all okay. I just heard about your situation from these two. I see. You must have come here because you were worried about Instructor Rean. I won't deny it, but I was also hoping to get a hold of the princess. Ah. That's certainly worth the worry, especially considering what happened yesterday. Her father was, and right before our eyes too. Not to mention that speech your younger brother gave today. Hey, Fee. I talked to the 2 of them outside earlier. I had the opportunity to meet Elise during the inspections in Crossbell. I had my people connect with the communication department at the Imperial Palace. They're not very security conscious, so it should work out. I suppose we did just finish with the communication system in Valflame Palace. It'll be hard to do so directly, but that should be a good way to get a hold of her. I'm about to contact them now. If things go well, you can talk to her. With Arena's negotiations and Gwyn on the controls, a call was successfully made to Valflame Palace, and a meeting with Princess Alfin was set up. I was surprised to hear that Gwyn and Chairman Arena were contacting me, but I never thought it would be Elise, along with Rean and the others. Princess, I'm glad I get to see your face. His Majesty, how is he? There haven't been any updates. He's still in critical condition. But this morning, the medical college brought in a famous doctor. Is that a doctor who treated Sharon? The medical equipment is currently being delivered. They just came this morning on a Rhineford high-speed plane. He should be fine. I heard that doctor is really talented. Everything will be okay, Princess. And considering Ash is one of my classmates, that isn't an easy thing for me to say. Ah, that's true. I understand that something was off with Ash. My mother has calmly come to her own conclusions, so please don't worry about that. More importantly, I heard that Altina and Milliam are missing. And Cedric's speech. Princess? I've decided to leave here and return to the girls' school. Huh? But why, Princess? I was worried about my mother, but she told me to take care of whatever I need to take care of. Now that Cedric's given his speech, I want to see how things are outside the palace. That's very commendable of you, Princess. It's probably best for you to see the situation for yourself. Indeed, but please have someone escort you. Your safety is imperative. Please don't worry, I'll have my finest guards accompany me. Elise, let's meet at the hotel. I should be there in an hour. Very well, I shall be waiting. Please be careful. And thank you for understanding what Ash is going through. To show our thanks, let us take care of things. Ash's behaviour, the Chancellor and Prince Cedric's speeches, and the imminent war with Calvard. We'll find out who's pulling the strings behind Erebonia and get our peaceful world back. Ah, Instructor. The same goes for me, Princess. The Inspectorate won't tolerate this either. And we will also find whatever it was that dragged your brother into this. You can count on us. Of course. Thank you, everyone. After that, the call was cut off so that Princess Alfin could make her own call. Everyone said their goodbyes to Elise and the others before heading out. Mother, what's up with Sharon? She hasn't been back since she left this morning. What of it? Elisa, I know that being an outsider is not my place to say this, but no, you're not an outsider. She did, after all, tell you about her past. Huh? When she helped me in Crossbell, she told me not to tell you if anything happened to her. Oh, she told me to tell you if anything happened to her. Read that wrong. So that's what they were talking about. They did look really serious. You must know why he knows about her past, but you don't... Do you not? I understand. I'm still unreliable. To Sharon, I'm nothing but a burden. But I've kept the 4th Development Division running this past year. I've launched projects that even you don't know about, Mother. You must know that they exist, but you don't know any of the details, do you? That's... Well, of course. After all, you made it RF's rule that every division be independent. So I, not as Irina Reinford's daughter, but as the chief of the 4th Development Division, Elisa Reinford, feel that I've been doing my job. Our positions might be different, but as equal employees, I'm not going to rely on you for this. I will discover the truth on my own. Not to mention, she isn't too far. Honestly, you do realise that that's some big talk for someone who only has a year of experience, right? Yes, but Grandfather told me you were like this when you were younger too. You met Father while your work has stalled. What a loudmouth. Elisa, are you sure about this? I can just tell you what Sharon told me. Thanks, but now's not the time. I'll find Sharon and ask for myself. Elisa, that's the spirit. Don't be given things. Take them for yourself. Wow, she's so cool. Do as you please. You will see that this current situation is far more dire than you know. But see for yourself with your very own eyes, and don't you dare look away. Of course. Understood. That goes for all of us, including Elisa. You don't have much time. Spend it well. Use it to determine the truth for yourself. I'm sure the princess feels a lot better after speaking with everyone. Prince Oliver has been out since this morning and... Oh yeah, he made some comments on the radio. Seemed like he was trying really hard to calm everyone down. I heard the Viscount and Toval boarded the Courageous. I see. I'm sure that would put the princess more at ease. Please be careful. Don't let the guards find you. Yeah, I'll be careful. You too, Elise. Take care of yourself and the princess as well. Right now, everyone just needs to work hard at whatever they can do. Please, Rean, be careful. I'll be praying for you. Did you have a scene with us as well, Gwyn? Yes. Where's Schmidt? He hasn't come back since he left for the airport. Sheesh, I was hoping I could talk to him about Prince Oliver's consultation. Is something going on? I heard you received some documents 2 days ago. Yes, we've come up with a new idea. Oh well, he'll probably come back once he gets hungry. Oh. Oh. I'm concerned about the Emperor's condition. We'll have to put our faith in Professor Silan from the medical college. Oh. I think that is sweep concluded. Talked to everyone, seen everything. Just the cathedral awaits me. Let's find out what's going on then. Who are we meeting? I wonder. I'm not Cathedral. Emma and Gaius said people wish to speak with us. It'll probably take a while, so we should take care of any unfinished business. The story will progress upon entering the Cathedral. All additional challenge elements will end. What? Does that just mean side quests? I'm just going to save for the hell of it now, even though I should be fine anyway. All additional challenge elements? Oh, whatever. That's just a weird way to refer to this. No honors, they're side quests, they're challenge elements. Is that what they're called now? Is what we got to call it from now on? Well, let's enter the cathedral and find out what's going on. No one's here. How can this cathedral be completely empty?
So, you've arrived at last.
Oh. You're... from the Leeves Chapel. Sister Rosine. I'd heard rumors, but... Wait, so what Gaius and Emma were talking about... I was somewhat expecting you to show up here. But your main objective is different, right?
Yes, it's good to see you all again. Please, come in. They're waiting for you just over there.
Ah, I'm glad you all finally made it. The Church has decided this issue now merits the attention of the Congregation for the Sacraments. As such, the Archbishop and all the staff here have been moved to another location.
Huh? You're... I get it now. Huh? You're that former instructor from Fore's main campus, Thomas.
Thank you for all your diligence, Rosine. I'd feel much better if you were to stand watch over the front door now, just in case.
Yes, understood. Leave it to me.
What was that all about? Yes, this was pretty shocking to us too.
Let me introduce you. This man is a member of the Gralsritter, a division of the Septian Church. He's the second in command, in fact. Thomas Lysander. He holds the seat of Second Dominion and is sometimes known by his title, the Partitioner.
Gralsritter? They're an armed knight organization that is run by the church. I'd heard that female terrorist, S, was once among their ranks. Wait a minute. Guys, does this mean... Are you...
Now allow me to introduce you. This man is one of the Gralsritter's 12 Dominion. The successor to the 8th Dominion, Gaius Warzel.
But why? Is this why we couldn't get a hold of you for the past 6 months?
Yeah, a lot happened all at once. After graduating from Thors, I returned to Nord and began observing the struggle between Erebonia and Calvert. However, I began to feel something dark and sinister carried on the winds of the plateaus. I consulted my father and the chief, and eventually my old teacher, Father Barkhorn, came to visit. You might remember the name. He was the traveling priest we chased after during the Civil War. But it turns out, he was also the 8th Dominion of the Gralsritter, with the title the Roaring Lion. He was an extremely skilled knight who investigated the Salt Pale in Northumbria and trained Brigadier General Bardius. Apparently, he was worried and came to Nord to check up on me. He explained to me that what I had been sensing was called the Gale of Ruin. I'm not sure why I'm able to sense it. Maybe it's because I'm a descendant of those who fought alongside the Lionheart Emperor. I mentioned this to him and he came to a realization. But then it happened. A Calvardian ship that broke past the 7th Armored Division attacked my village. My father was away at the time. I fought back in an attempt to protect my family, but it was no use. Right as I prepared myself for death, my teacher threw his huge body in the way to protect me. And as he lay there dying, he passed his stigma onto me. Across the nearly 1,000-year history of the Gralsritter, its highest-ranking members have each borne one of 12 sacred markings. This was one of those markings.
The Roaring Lion. I've heard that name many times. He saved many people who were affected by the disaster in Northumbria. Yes, among the current Dominion members, he was the most veteran. And after the stigma was passed to Gaius, I took him to the holy city of Arteria, where he received knight training, hence his half-year of silence. I see. If that's what was happening, you should have told us. Yeah, we could have helped you. It's okay. Everything happened so quickly. I did everything I had to do, and finished my knight training. Last month, Eustace was finally able to reach me. The power that I've received from my master. With it, I will save the Empire, my second home, as a member of Class VII. Ah, Gaius. Sheesh. You've always been so grand and reliable. Thank you, Gaius. Please lend us your strength. Yes, I will give you my all. Seeing someone like him puts us under even more pressure. Yeah, the gap isn't just in age or experience. This group certainly has become awfully formidable. Not really. We're still training just as much as you guys. I have a ways to go before I reach the heights of my predecessors. And speaking of which...
Grandmother! Stop hiding! Come out already!
You're the one who called us here in the first place, aren't you? I only hid myself so as not to interrupt your discussion.
Ah, you're Emma's grandmother. The elder of the witches, Roselia, was it?
Indeed. But you may simply call me Rose. I had you all gather here for one reason. To explain to you the background between the Hexen clan and the church.
I see, so that's how it is. But aren't the witches opposed to the church?
It's not as though we don't believe in Adios. There have been some differences in opinion over the years, but we and the church have worked together on a number of occasions.
For example, during the War of the Lions, or the vampire incident in the Middle Ages. Not to mention the fight against the Dark Dragon 800 years ago.
But all that was just Rose sticking her nose into other people's business.
Huh? Wait, so you were involved in all that?
Legend has it, Emperor Dreikel's camp was once visited by a good witch. And the novel Red Moon Rose features a vampire hunter affiliated with the church who was, in truth, the true ancestor of the vampires. The woman you now see before you was both of these people, even if she looks a bit different.
How old are you exactly?
800 or so. However, you should know that my situation is somewhat unique. All other witches are normal humans. Except, of course, for the fact that they are all descendants of those who once guarded the Sept-Terrion of Fire.
Sept-Terrion of Fire? It's the same as the Aureole of Libel and the Great Tree of Crossbell. The Sept-Terrions, the 7 gifts bestowed on humanity by Adius. It's said that they were all lost during the Great Collapse 1,200 years ago. They're the things that Ouroboros has been trying to get their hands on all this time. Yeah, now for the main topic. Now, where to begin? Grandmother, we don't know anything beyond this. Don't leave out any details. Make sure you explain it fully. I second that request. I don't know the details either. Let's see, Roselia. Perhaps we should take turns talking. Very well, that will suffice. I'm sure you've noticed by now, but there is a front and back to this empire. The spirit veins are directly affected by the turbulence of the government and war, and that causes cryptids and powerful monsters from other planes to stir. That explains it then. As the empire's territory spreads, so will they. The Paloma Grass and Magic Knights, where did they come from in the first place? Well, to begin, Paloma Grass is a mana grass from the higher planes. It once served as the eyes and ears of the Sept-Terrion of Mirage. Normally it's blue, but after the incident in Crossbell, it all vanished. That is until after Crossbell became part of the Empire, at which point it began reappearing in this new scarlet shade. The implications are rather chilling. It changed colour to match the Infernal Castle, perhaps. There is undoubtedly a connection. As for the Magic Knights, you may have heard before, but they are golems from the Dark Ages. They were created by mages of the Empire to fight against the Divine Knights. During the Civil War, something caused them to stir once more, and they now appear in Crossbell via the Spirit Path. No way! That would also explain the increased incidents with cryptids recently. What about the Society? The Phantasmal Blaze plan. They sought to use Crossbell's false phantasm to awaken the blaze in Erebonia. At least that's what I heard. Seriously? So that's their plan? Why did you hear that? Well, last night I heard it from the Chancellor himself. He told me some other intriguing things too, but I feel like he intentionally left out some of the more important details. I see. I heard you talk to him, but it seems Ouroboros' work in Crossbell 2 years ago was to bring about some kind of change in Erebonia. Just so you know, Crossbell's Mirage Sept-Terrion was an artificially created fake. It was stronger than the original, but the Society had no interest in it. Were I to hazard a guess, their goal is to acquire the two treasures that originally existed here. The Sept-Terrions of Fire and Earth, that once called the Land of Erebus home. The Sept-Terrions of Fire and Earth. So Libelle had the Sept-Terrion of Space, and Crossbell the Sept-Terrion of Mirage, but Erebonia had two Sept-Terrions. Hold on a second. Emma, if the witches are the descendants of the people who guarded the Sept-Terrion of Fire, yes, then the Black Workshop and the gnomes are the same people. Ah, descendants of those who guarded the Sept-Terrion of Earth. They are our counterparts. Much like the royal Ausleys family of Libelle and the Croix family in Crossbell. In addition, you may be aware that each Sept-Terrion has its own holy beast assigned to watch over it. Libelle had an ancient dragon, Crossbell had a divine wolf, and as it had two Sept-Terrions, Erebonia had two holy beasts as well. However, after the Great Collapse, each of them vanished alongside the Sept-Terrion they were to oversee. That's the core of the issue. The two Sept-Terrions, the two groups of people who worship them, and the two holy beasts. The Sept-Terrions and holy beasts disappeared, and the people changed their names. What happened in Erebonia 1,200 years ago? Allow me to reveal to you the truth behind the Land of Erebus. The story still relies on a modicum of speculation. Please keep that in mind.
In the beginning, this land housed two of the Sept-Terrion. The Arc Rouge, Sept-Terrion of Fire and wielder of fierce power. The Lost Zem, Sept-Terrion of Earth and bearer of unyielding endurance. Each assumed the form of a colossal guardian and went about granting boons and performing miracles for its people. For a few centuries, the land of Erebonia prospered, but eventually, its people began to vie for power and control. The Sept-Terrions had always granted their people's wishes, but now their peoples each wished for the other's destruction. And so, the two colossi began fighting. Their battle ravaged the earth and split the sky, devastating the entire region. The humans tried to stop them, but it was in vain. The Sept-Terrions' fight continued 1,000 days, scorching the land black. When the battle ended at long last, it was a tie. Exhausting their power in one final strike, the two Sept-Terrion were blown away, left as nothing but empty shells. Yet the tale did not end there.
The power expelled by each Sept-Terrion collided and became one, resulting in the creation of an entirely new entity. The Great One, the Sept-Terrion of Steel. It was an existence created from the union of fire and earth. It was beyond anything else in this realm. It was the ultimate source of power. Though things seemed fine at first, the survivors of the war soon realized the eternal conflict within it. They knew this conflict would cause it to grow ever more unstable, and that it was not something that could be handled by mankind.
With the Holy Beast's assistance, the kins of fire and earth joined together to see the Great One sealed away. However, each of their attempts ended in failure. Left with no other options, they resorted to their final plan. The Great One would remain whole in the higher plane, yet its physical incarnation in this world split into numerous shards. It was this final gambit that saw disaster averted.
Indeed, their combined efforts bore fruit. The kin of Earth created 7 vessels, while the kin of Fire split the Great One's power and infused each vessel with a part of it.
7 dolls in the form of knights, each bearing the Great One's power, the Divine Knights.
Wow. That's beyond fathomable. I was told about this in bits and pieces, but so all that happened 1,200 years ago. That wasn't a fairy tale, right? At the very least, something similar happened. So what happened after that? And why did Valimar and the other Divine Knights start fighting? This is as far as the story that was passed down goes. So the kin of Fire became the Hexen clan, and the kin of Earth became the Gnomes. They split the unstable, ultimate power into 7, and both sides decided to watch over the reconstruction after the Great Collapse. Oh, and by the way, many people from each kinship have since abandoned their roles. They joined together, started accepting people from the surrounding area, and created the foundation of what became Erebonia. This is around the same time the Sept-Terrion Church was spreading across Erebonia. 300 years passed, and the Arno family established the city of Heimdall. That's when the disaster of the Dark Dragon occurred.
900 years ago, Heimdall was a small city of only about 50,000 people. However, it was one of the burgeoning centers of culture for the region. The Sept-Terrion Church had finished construction on the Heimdall Cathedral, and there were plans to develop the city even further. But it was then the Dark Dragon appeared, blanketing Heimdall in miasma and transforming it into a city of the dead. Emperor Astorius chose to lead his people south and made St. Arc the new capital of Erebonia.
In helping Emperor Astorius deal with this crisis, the Hexen clan and Gnomes each suffered substantial losses. The Hexen clan lost its elder, and the Gnomes their holy beast. And so ended their alliance. The final time they spoke would be a century later. It was when Emperor Hector awakened the Vermilion Knight to reclaim Heimdall from the Dark Dragon. He did so at the urging of the chief of the Gnomes and the new elder of the Hexen clan, myself. However, the Emperor fell to the Dark Dragon's miasma, and the Vermilion Knight to its curse. The Emperor's son had the chief of the Gnomes and myself seal the cursed knight deep below the Imperial Palace. That would be the last act our 2 clans performed together. I do not know why, but the Gnomes cut off contact with our clan and hid themselves away. In the 800 years that followed, whenever war struck Erebonia, a Divine Knight would enter the stage, demonstrate its might, then vanish. I was certain the Gnomes were involved, yet all we could do was guide Awakeners on the proper course. This unending pattern reached its most fevered peak 250 years ago during the War of the Lions. The false Emperor Orthros unearthed the cursed Vermilion Knight, and a mercenary under Prince Lucius' employ awakened the Palatinate Knight. Prince Dreichels found the Ashen Knight, and Leanne the Argent Knight. The 4 awakened at once, Made for a grand war indeed.
So that's how things connect. There's so many parts to the story I want to question, but... So Emma's grandma was around during the War of the Lions? A good witch. I read about them in fairy tales. As the Prince's guide, I accompanied the Drykel's camp. I remember those days. It used to be quite the beauty. All I mean to say is that the art depictions of me are not inaccurate. As stated earlier, the Elder of the Witches isn't a normal human. So you've been watching over the clan after becoming an immortal being. Yes, however, I only came into existence 800 years ago. My predecessor perished soon afterward, and I do not have many memories from before that point. So naturally, there are things that I still do not know. But there are things that you do know about, such as how you said the maiden Leanne was the awakener of the Argent Knight, and whether or not she is Ouroboros' still maiden. That's true. You could confirm so many things. It is her. Of that much I'm certain. She was the daughter of a count who met the Wandering Prince and later challenged the Apocalypse, only to lose her life. However, before that happened, it was I who guided Leanne to become the Argent Awakener. But Leanne knew her powers were too great, so she kept them hidden away. It was only during her battle with the Apocalypse that she unleashed her full might. In the end, however, she was fatally injured and passed away after the war. Then, half a year later, I witnessed her revival, along with your ancestor, Arsaid, second in command of the Eisenritter. Ah, so that's why. Were you the one who revived them, Grandmother? Yeah, that's what I'd like to know too. After Leanne passed, I thought it strange how her body did not rot. So I took her body back to the village, and half a year later, she simply woke up. I assumed she'd become an immortal, though I could not say when or how. Leanne realized what was happening to her, so she left Erebonia to walk the earth without even telling her love, Drykel's. She left the Gram to Arsaid, her right-hand man. I occasionally met with her whenever she came around, but the last time was 20 years ago. That's when she met Ouroboros' Grand Master, who brought her into the fold. Thank you for sharing this. There are some things that can't be overlooked. Yeah, we've seen too many incredible things over the last few months. So the Boss and Crow were both... As I said earlier, we have no idea what specifically happened. I think the key is the Divine Knight. The Jaeger King was not an Awakener when he was alive. On the other hand, Drykel's was an Awakener, but he did not become immortal. He has remained dead. That's right. Instructor Rean isn't immortal, is he? Right, he's still been growing since graduating. Yeah, I may have some weird powers, but I've definitely aged. Is there a common reason? I believe there are only two people who know the truth. The current Chancellor, Gideon Osborne, and the Chief of the Gnomes, Black Alberic. So that's the leader of the Black Workshop. Yes, though I do not believe he is an immortal like me. The leadership of the Gnomes is somehow passed down from one to the next, in order for them to achieve their goal of bringing about the Great Twilight. The Great Twilight? This is the first I've heard of it, but is that the fairy tale of the end that Vida was talking about? Yes, 800 years ago, as we were going our separate ways, that is what the Chief of the Gnomes told the Prince and me. It was as if he was foretelling a future where everything ends. Wait, that's too... It's much too similar to the direction the Empire is heading. Let me add to this. The reason Barkhorn and I were in Erebonia was because we discovered an anomaly. The spirit veins were being distorted all over the continent, and the source seemed to emanate from the Empire. It was like a ripple effect. The incidents in Liberl and Crossbelt, as well as the Civil War in Erebonia, only served to further increase the distortions. They continued to get larger after Crossbelt and Northumbria were folded into the Empire, and larger again when the cryptids and magic knights of Erebonia appeared in Crossbelt. On the other hand, Pleroma grass, which is native to Crossbelt, started blooming in the Empire. If the Great Twilight really is about to happen, then all of this seems to be an omen of things to come. Who is this Alberic person? He uses the masked man as his agent and hired the Jaeger King, who's supposed to be dead. Are there other gnomes out there? Well, your dear rabbit friends may technically count, but beside the masked man, their leader seems to have at least one other acting agent. I cannot say who this person may be, but it would seem they are a talented craftsman at any rate. Oh, before you jump to conclusions, I am not speaking of that little brat Schmidt. It would seem the person I speak of possesses a different kind of genius than he does. A talented craftsman. That sounds... That's putting some unpleasant ideas in my head. In any event, Albric and the Chancellor are probably connected. And it's unlikely to be through the Intelligence Division or his children. With the incidents of last night, things may have already been put in motion. Oh, why do you say that? Last night, we finally decoded the black records that you found the other day. Oh, the black records are a collection of a particular type of artifacts, sometimes found in Erebonia. I was actually exchanging information about them with Rean. Really? When did that happen? Right before all of you graduated, he revealed his true identity to me. He told me not to tell anyone. I hope you don't hold it against me. Instructor, I mean, Father Thomas. Sheesh, you probably took advantage of Rean's sense of responsibility, didn't you? Well, I can't deny it. In any event, this is what the updated Black Records said.
When the sacrifice is made and the ancient blood flows, the path to the Graal of Erebus shall open. When the tainted holy beast is pierced by the blade of World's End, and its blood fills the Graal, the great twilight shall fall upon the land.
What? That... The timing is too perfect. As if the prophecies were written about our current situation. If the ancient blood is referring to the Emperor, then is the sacrifice referring to Ash? What about the Graal and the Blade? The Graal is probably related to the Sept-Terrion Church, and the Tainted Holy Beast. Father Thomas, could that be... Yes, as was stated earlier, guys. There's a sacred place beneath this cathedral, the Primal Ground, a facility that was designed to play a major role after the Great Collapse. 900 years ago, when Heimdall was shrouded in darkness, it retreated beneath here and disappeared. Disappeared? I heard about such a facility in Labelle. Yes, there is one beneath the Grand Sol Cathedral in Labelle too. However, when the Heimdall was retaken, the space beneath the cathedral was buried by rock. But what if it didn't disappear, and simply transferred somewhere else instead? Ah, so it still exists. The Holy Beast mentioned in the prophecy is likely the Holy Beast of Earth. As I said before, it disappeared after the disaster 900 years ago. It is only speculation, but I believe the Dark Dragon you faced the other day was merely a servant of the true Holy Beast. Wait a minute. Are you saying that the Dark Dragon wasn't the cause of everything? Though it was indeed a powerful cryptid, it was not something the witches and gnomes could not take care of together. If the Holy Beast gave birth to the Dark Dragon and is still alive somewhere, where else could it be but the Primal Ground? All of the conditions set forth in the prophecy are lining up. This has got to be a joke. Regarding this Blade of World's End that defeats the Holy Beast, in other scriptures it is called the Originator Zero. I'm speculating that it's a special weapon created by the Black Workshop. What in the world? At the very least, it probably isn't anything like what the boss uses. Do you think it's made of Zemurian ore, like the weapons used by Divine Knights? That would seem most likely.
Muse?
Is something the matter?
Oh?
You realize something?
Right now, we need any straw we can grasp at.
Anything at all could help, no matter how small.
Yes, you're right. That term. Originator Zero. Could that be OZ, perhaps?
That's what the Black Workshop called Millium and Altina.
They're model numbers.
OZ.
Oh, what are you talking about?
So you finally made it.
That voice.
Vita! Ah, so the prodigal granddaughter returns.
Misty, Vita!
I heard you had been acting on your own.
Nice to see you again, grandmother.
Emma, Celine, and Class VII, too. And thank you for mediating, Mr. Lysander.
Oh, don't even mention it. It always breaks my heart to see a family torn apart so.
Vida, why? You really don't plan on ever coming back, do you?
That's correct. As I said before, my allegiance will forever lie with the Grandmaster. I can't return to you and Grandmother. I can never go back to the way I used to be. Just like the Steel Maiden.
Seriously, who even is this Grandmaster person?
I have no clue. But it is clear she is quite taken with them. So do tell, Vida. If you have not decided to return to us, why show yourself now? Has Ouroboros finally decided upon its course of action?
Yes. After our experiments with the 3 ions, the 6 other Anguis came to a unanimous decision. They decided to ignore my warning. They will work with the Chancellor and the Gnomes to bring about the Great Twilight, completing the Phantasmal Blaze plan.
So that's how it is. The reason Ouroboros was so quiet the past month wasn't because they left Erebonia.
It was to carry out their plan. And determine whether they should work alongside enemies and traitors.
How can that be? If that were the case, it means...
They're all our enemies?
Is this?
It's not the cathedral's bell.
Huh? I think I recognize it from Crossbell.
You do?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I remember hearing it right before the incidents in Crossbell, when we were still independent. Oh! The one from the museum!
The bell from Stargazers Tower?
But the sound's coming from a different direction than the museum.
The Phantasmal Blaze Plan. What a fitting name. I wonder how much of this she foresaw.
That is quite enough mumbling to yourself. If you know what is going on, show us!
It'll be a bit tough without Grianos. I'll need your help, Grandmother. Emma, Celine, you too.
Yes!
I'm not your slave.
Now then, let us say we celebrate the continuation of the Phantasmal Blaze plan by ringing in the Great Twilight. I, Enforcer number 0, the Fool, shall play the opening note.
Check that out!
Huh. Sure is something.
Well, how about that?
So, the beginning of the end, is it?
Deja vu.
The Grawl of Erebus. Just as the Black Records foretold.
The crypt where the great power will be reborn.
Rean. Uses.
Couldn't have guessed this is how my day would turn out when I woke up this morning.
Let us begin. It is time. Chief of the Gnomes and head of the workshop, show me the way, Black Alberic.
As you wish, my lord.